Welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Emmett Muckles. Please visit iTunes, Stitcher, or emmettmuckles.com to listen to all the episodes for free.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast. This is your host, Emmett Muckles. Today I have a beautiful, wonderful, awesome, intuitive guest, which is Laura Cheadle. Laura she actually works with, if you go to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast, my blog and podcast, the moniker right on the side is her, which is mind, body, spirit. It is the trinity of us and connecting with that because she's into the physical, she's into your emotional state, she's into so many different things that compose us. How are you doing today, Laura?
I am doing wonderfully well. How are you doing today?
As we discussed before, life is about some challenges and overcoming them. And I've seemed to, as the Boy Scouts say, be prepared. So I'm prepared for everything that comes my way with an alternative so that I can make it happen.
I love that.
Now, I want to start with you. I know I said what you do, but I like to always give our guest from the proverbial horse's mouth exactly what you're about. So that way, if I missed anything, it can be corrected.
Absolutely. Well, I have kind of a different background than a lot of people who do the traditional mind, body, spirit work. I started off as a lawyer. And I practiced corporate law for 10 years because I love research. I love study. I love the intellectual pursuit of anything. Now, in my mind, practicing law was significantly different than it was in real life. I know, big shocker, right? I thought I could go in and I could research and I could help people understand how they could solve their problems and everybody would be happy to see me and grateful for my expertise. And in reality, practicing law is all about cleaning up messes and dealing with grouchy, negative people who truly don't want to compromise. They just want their way because they're so frustrated. And
I was wondering, how did you get out of that? Because I know that can be very draining, but I know that your gifts go back to when you were a child, but I'm going to let you go forward with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was one of those things when I had my kids and I took my maternity leave. It made me refocus on everything. And it made me realize, you know what? I used to love dance and I've always loved fitness. And I grew up being very intuitive. And why am I here? There's so much more I can do. And I can use my gifts and my passions to help people solve their problems before they even have these problems start. So that was the point that I took a step back, left my job, went back to school, it's basically an associate's degree, my certified hypnotherapy license, started dancing and personal training, and got certified by Doreen Virtue doing angel readings, and bam, it has just started really exploding.
I love Doreen Virtue because usually when numbers reoccur in my life, I usually go on the internet and try and figure out. And like I said, I went through a little time in my life, and I used to always go to Doreen Virtues because these numbers kept showing up: 222, 111, 555.
Yes.
And she was the only one that gave me any kind of inkling of what it was about. So from there, I want to ask you about your transition because, we live in this puritanical kind of society that says you have to grow up, you have to get a job, you have to be responsible, you have to make as much money as possible to be happy, and you have to buy a house, raise the kids, and then you retire, and hopefully you can live your life then. You took a major transition away from an occupation. Oh, yeah. What was that process like for you to say, I am leaving this and I am moving to where my heart is pulling me?
It was interesting because I knew it was right. Inside, I knew it was right. But there was a lot of embarrassment And yeah, and even some shame. I had a phenomenal amount of student loans. I went to a private law school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How do you tell, even though I'm an adult, how do you tell your parents, hey, guess what? I have all these loans and I have 2 kids and I have a mortgage, but I'm out of here. So there was definitely that embarrassment about telling other people. It was interesting when I told my boss at work. He was very supportive, which was shocking to me. He said, you know what, my kids are older now, and I don't regret any time that I spent with them. I think it's phenomenal what you're going to be teaching them about not punching the clock just because, but about pursuing your heart's desire. And that was really astounding to me. I thought, wow, he sees what I'm doing. It's not that, oh, you're just walking away because this is hard work. You're walking away to pursue something else. And in that process, you're freeing other people to do the same. And that was a pivotal moment for me because it did make me realize, yes, if I do it and other people see me do it, then they're able to do it too. And watch my lifestyle change. Watch my happiness level change. Watch everything about me grow. And let's see what happens. And it's been wonderful.
So after you made that transition, actually, after you made the decision to make the transition, what was your time period before you said, okay, I'm on my way, things are happening, now I can really own what I am?
That took a little longer. Let me tell you that. Because people see you as, they see you as your job. They don't see you as a person.
That's true.
And when they see you as a lawyer, they see you as analytical. Of course I'm analytical. I'm still analytical. I'm also extremely intuitive. People don't understand how that can balance out. And even now, people will say, what do you mean you're psychic? What do you mean you're intuitive? Weren't you a lawyer? Yes. Yes, I was. All of the above. And I like embracing the dichotomy. I can be smart. I can be spiritual. I can be feminine. I can be masculine. I can be soft. I can be hard. I can be all of those things. And it's challenging to embrace that in the world that we live in because people want to define us and people want to box us in.
That's
so
true.
What are you? Yeah. Do you do fitness or do you mental health? Well, I do both.
I was about to ask you that because, 9 times out of 10, when someone is in the healing arts profession, they are focused in on usually one aspect or the other, which is usually things that are not graspable or perceivable to our native senses. That's the best way I want to say it.
Yes.
But you have kind of wrapped it up. Like I said, that Trinity is what you're talking about, which is kind of the whole thing, the mind, body, spirit connection. And what led you to that path? Because, that's uncharted territory. Like I said, most people are in one or the other. So what made you say, I'm going to bond all this together and make a comprehensive ball? Right.
Great question. Have you ever had the stomach flu and been laying in bed wanting to die?
No.
Never.
No, wait a minute. Let me take it. I've had some Jamesons that put me through an episode. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. When you don't feel good physically, when you're in that state, you can't become a spiritual being. You can't be emotionally present. You're laying in bed saying, leave me alone. I don't care how I feel. I don't care what I'm doing to other people. I don't care that I'm neglecting you in this moment. Just leave me alone. And that to me personifies we are physical beings. We have to have and we have to have our bodies feel good. And if our bodies don't feel good, we can't be present emotionally, and we can't be present spiritually. And if I am in a high state of anxiety and my mind is spinning, I can't be physical. And if it's all tied together, you can't be one without the other. I can't be in a meditative state connecting with the divine, and hear all of this information when I hurt and when I have anxiety and when I'm stressed out and when it's all part and parcel.
Okay. That makes more sense, actually, because the physical does affect, well, every part affects every other part. And knowing that. So when you are, let me digress a little bit. So you've moved to this new arena in your life. You've traveled down this hallway of life and you found a new door that you said you want to go through. And you proceeded through that door. But once you get through that door, now comes the act of practicing. So who do you work with? How do people know about you? And how do you know if you're the right fit for someone?
Couple of things. I am analytical. I experiment. I look at different things. I try different modalities. I checked out a couple of different hypnotherapy schools. I did not like them. It didn't make sense to me. The one that I found works for me. I need to understand, why does that happen? Because it's magic is not an answer for me. I need to understand how it's going to happen. Okay. Same thing with some of the energy work that I've done. Sure. Some things feel great. I don't understand how it works. It's not great for me. I try. I fail. I try again. All of a sudden I find something and it works for me.
That's life.
Oh, it absolutely is. So that's how I came to the different modalities that I do, by trial and by error. And if I can understand it myself, then I can explain it to other people. If I can't explain it to you, why would you come to me? I need to be able to show, my clients how and why hypnosis will benefit them, how and why an angel reading that I do will change their life.
So is it one thing or the other? Is it someone comes for a comprehensive understanding where hypnotherapy comes in, or is it a reading where you're looking at, is it a chakra feel, or is it a aura feel, or is it? Help me understand.
It's a lot of different things. All of my business has been word of mouth business. I will see, a third grade boy for stuttering. I will use hypnosis. He will refer me to his two friends. They each refer me to two friends. It grows like that. Then same thing. Somebody will come in for an angel reading. It will change their life. They keep coming back. They buy gift certificates for their family and friends. It grows that way. Typically, people come in with a problem. I am solution oriented. We talk on the phone. Hey, this is my problem. This is how I want to feel. This is what I want to change. This is what's going on with me. And then I say, it sounds to me like you could use, A, B, C, or D. Do any of those sound good for you? Because it's a mutual thing. I can't say, Emmett, we're doing hypnosis. And you're thinking, I'm not really comfortable with it. It's that mutual. And then I can explain how this works. And sometimes it's a combination. Sometimes we'll do a half-hour angel reading followed by hypnosis that deals with some of the information that came out in the reading. Because when we're blocked, we're blocked. And when we're blocked and we don't know what's holding us back, we don't know. So sometimes that's when a reading is beneficial.
I got it. You don't know because you don't know. Or you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly right.
So you said you do angel readings. So do people, this is one question that I have. Do people have common angels? Is there a hierarchy of angel energy? And then how do I want to say it? Like a management system. So there's top manager, then there's, assistant managers, then there's customer service.
Exactly. Yes to all of the above. We all have different angels that help us throughout our lifetime. We have usually a pair or a team of angels that stay with us our entire life. However, nothing is ever fixed. If you change paths so significantly on your life that you need some new guides can step in. For example, when we're kids, we tend to learn different lessons. We'll have certain angels that come in and help us with those lessons. Then we might be going through young adulthood, getting married, career. We might have different angels and guides that come in and help us with that. Then at some point we might, like I did, say, this is all wrong. I need to change it around. you might have some new guides that come in and help work with you as well as with your old guides. A lot of it also is what's going on with you. Are you calling out to different angels? Are you calling out to any religious deity, Jesus, Buddha, Kuan Yin, whoever you're calling out to, they can come in and work with you.
That's interesting to know. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times what I do is I don't wear jewelry anymore. I don't wear what we call precious metals because the only reason they're precious is because we say they're precious, and that doesn't that doesn't mean they're precious to me. So I start wearing more earthbound things that, resonate with me, stones and things like that. Even my wedding ring, I said, do not get me gold, silver, or something like that. I said, get me titanium or wood or something like that. And she went, you turned into a hippie all of a sudden.
Yes.
I was like, it's not that. It's just I want to be connected. I don't want this presence of fake value in my life. And when you're dealing with people, and what are their major blockages that you find permeate the society that we're dealing with, particularly right now? Because we're in a state of turmoil in this world right now.
Oh, yes. I think overarching, it's a little bit what we talked about earlier. The labels, the blocks, the which role do I feel? Everybody wants to know what their life path is. And everybody wants to have a delineated path that they follow. And it's very challenging, and it's challenging for me too, to realize it can be anything.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily one life path or one person. And the goal is not to achieve that thing. The goal is to experience this journey and to change and to develop and to grow and to relate with others. And people have a hard time with that because most people want to come in and say, am I on the right path? Tell me my life path. What's my divine life purpose? Well, today it might be to offer some love to that checkout person at the grocery store. And tomorrow it might be to help those kids across the street and to just let them know that somebody else is there besides their family, because guess what? Their dad beats them. Ooh. And the next day, it might be to just block that oncoming car from hitting another car, and you take the brunt of that, but you've saved somebody else. And the next day, and so you don't have, everybody wants a destination.
So that's why they say every day is a gift.
Absolutely. And it's hard. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we said, yes, this is my destination and I'm getting there. Now I can go relax and kick back.
Yeah, that'd be boring. Nobody wants to do that. So how do you typically work with people? Is it one-on-one? Is it direct, or is it telephone, or what mediums do you use to work with people, or what tools do you have at your access to help people with?
Right. One-on-one is certainly wonderful. Working on the phone is great. Skype, FaceTime, what's that new one? Zoom. I use anything that people are comfortable with. My goal is to make people comfortable. I also do workout videos because I do personal training and I'm a dancer. I love to dance. I love to perform. I have workout videos. I have meditation videos. I have hypnosis videos. People can reach me however. I even have clients who sometimes will say, I'm going to send you money for an hour of time and then I'm going to randomly text you over the next few months. And I say, that's great. They just want me like on call. Check in real fast. What's going on?
That's fine. Pretty awesome though.
It's really awesome. And I love being that accessible to my clients because I'm a relationship person and I'm about relating, and how it works for me might work differently for you.
So let's diverge a little bit and talk about your dancing.
Yes.
Now, what are your types of dance that you are involved with? I'll let you say it.
Oh, I will do anything. Now, hold on to your seat. I do burlesque dancing. I do pole dancing. I do ballet. I do tap. I do, you name it. If there's a way to dance it, I will dance it.
So you have super core strength and upper body strength.
I sure hope so.
Because I know some people who use the pole dance just as a strength exercise, because it's a body weight exercise, and also you get the cardio built in from just the moving overall. How about belly dancing?
I have taken belly dancing, yes. Like I said, I will, you name it, I will dance it. Tribal, sure. I'll do it. I love movement. Now,
I'm going to have to ask you to actually give us some definition to burlesque, because a lot of people, when they hear burlesque, they think really, I mean, there's a diaspora to burlesque.
Yes.
So when you say burlesque, what does that encompass?
Okay, burlesque, if you go back to the original definition of burlesque, it's a parody. It's ironic. Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream is a burlesque. There are operas that are burlesque. Burlesque came about during the vaudeville era when a lot of people couldn't afford the upper high class shows. The common man could not go to the theater. The common man could not dress up, and by man I'm meaning women too, to go to the theater, nor did they necessarily want to be a part of that uptight, culture. So hence vaudeville was born. Vaudeville was cheap and it was accessible, and it poked fun of society. It poked fun of the stereotypes. It poked fun of, you can't show your ankle, you need a collar up to here.
Yeah.
Sex has always been a hang-up in our society.
That's our Puritan system.
It absolutely is. And especially, can a woman be sexy? Oh my gosh, threat, threat, threat. So burlesque plays on a lot of that by poking fun of it, by exposing what we're uncomfortable with. It can be done in a humorous way. True burlesque is humorous. There's part of it that's also got the glamorous feel. There's neo-burlesque that can pretty much be anything you want, but a lot of it is poking fun at the stereotypical norms of society. It's like when you think about the vaudeville thing where the girl is on the witness stand and it's the judge and it's the lawyer, and she keeps crossing and uncrossing her legs and her skirt goes higher and higher and everybody's distracted. That's where burlesque comes from.
So have you ever performed the fan dance? Is that part of
Absolutely.
burlesque?
Yes, it is.
That is the most gracious thing I've seen, and it takes a great deal of skill to present it properly. And I've only seen it probably about 10 or 15 times, and it's usually from old school stuff. Like, I'm thinking the Mae West era, where I've seen the most prevalent. And it's making a big comeback, burlesque is. And particularly with millennials, they are just into it, because I'm seeing all these shows that are coming out. And so do you teach any classes, or do you just do performances? What's entailed with your dancing?
Yeah, both. I perform regularly at a cabaret in town. I travel all over the United States performing at different festivals, meeting performers from all over, networking. I also do teach a variety of classes. I do some burlesque workshops. I do some burlesque one-on-one, because when you think about burlesque, it's a reveal. When clothing comes off because you're revealing something, it's not stripping. Stripping is about stripping and grinding and being overtly sexual, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But burlesque is about, why am I revealing it? What's the story? And what am I doing by showing you this? Because it's a choice that the performer makes, as opposed to, you're going to get this one way or the other.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought of it that way, because burlesque is usually on a stage, and there's a barrier between the audience and the performer, versus where strippers, they are literally right there and going to meet and greet, so to speak,
Exactly.
their audience. That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a different feel, and you're revealing something about yourself when you do the reveal. And oftentimes we use clothes to cover things that we are uncomfortable with. Especially women and the body image and all of that stuff. We cover ourselves. So by doing a reveal in burlesque, what are you saying? You're saying, hey, I love my stretch marked belly, and I don't really care if anybody else loves it. I'm comfortable enough that I'm revealing it. Or I'm revealing. I think some of the most beautiful burlesque that I've seen is where women have had a mastectomy and they reveal their body. Or when people are what you would consider overweight or underweight or, misshapen in some way. And it's a reveal of, this is me. Take me, love me, accept me or not, because I've chosen to put myself here. So the workshops that I teach focus on that, and they're very deep and they're very moving, and everybody sobs and cries and gets over their hang-ups, and it's incredibly powerful.
I'm a big fan of the native human form. That's the best way to put it.
Yes, it is.
And a lot of people are still very uncomfortable with it, which it makes no sense. Because to me, if everybody today, if your neighborhood, wherever you are, if they were to just come out in their native human form, all of a sudden it takes a component of judgment literally away, because now you can't judge on status, class. You just have to judge on the person who is right before you. That's a pretty awesome idea in itself. And what other forms are you performing, types of dance that you're performing for people or involved with?
I also choreograph and dance for DeSan's production, and we do the Las Vegas, the old time 50s, 60s Vegas shows. So the kick line, kind of like a Rockettes type feel, the crooner, the singer with the little dancing in back. So I do, like I said, dancing is, I believe, native to a human. I believe all cultures across time have always danced to express, to celebrate, to process emotion. And if there's any way I can dance and put myself in front of people and let them witness my joy in dancing, I'm fine to do that. And I think, again, it frees them up to then start moving their own bodies, because we're so stuffy. We need to move.
So I want to ask this question. I want to go back and switch gears again, because there's this question that's been really kind of on my person since about the last 24 hours, since we really started chatting. So intuitive, most of the time children are very intuitive. Children are able to perceive outside of the spectrum that adults cannot. For instance, there's a certain range of frequencies that humans just automatically perceive, which is sight, sound, but then there's levels above and below that spectrum that we have. Why is it that, and I know it's a hard question, why is it that children can perceive these and then all of a sudden it's gone? What happens with that?
Oh, I can so answer that. Because they were told they can't see that. They were told they can't feel that. They were told that's your imagination. If we told our children, yes, tell me more. How do you feel? What are you sensing? Let me try to sense that too. Think how we would expand.
Yeah, that makes sense, because, even if they don't tell anybody, they probably get cues to say this is not acceptable in our current society. So let me try and blend in with everybody. Because if you think about school in particular, there's a high level of peer pressure just to be like everyone else. And then as you get to be an adult, you're like, I don't want to be like everyone else. But you can't get it back so easily. So that makes a great deal of sense overall. Do you do any workshops or do you do any classes for people to develop their skills as well?
Yes. I also work one-on-one with people to develop their skills. There is a lot of fear surrounding psychic development, surrounding intuitive development. And yes, I work with people in understanding the energy field. Again, if I can't understand it, I can't explain it to people. And I feel like my biggest gift in working with people is being able to understand it. The example of when you walk into a room and people have been fighting and you feel that's your intuition. If somebody passes you on the street and you go, ooh, that's your intuition. Sometimes you just see someone or you talk to them for 3 minutes and you're like, I like you, I get you. It's your intuition. It's not psycho, it's not scary, you're not a freak. It's just understanding, oh, I am perceiving energy. Have you ever gone to a traditional church and blissed out? Have you ever, all these things. That's psychic experiences that you're having. It's just that we don't call them that.
So are there any exercises that everyday common people can do that can enhance their experience on this world with their senses?
Yes. Yes. So much of it, and this is quintessential, just taking the moment to be present and to ask yourself how you feel. How do I feel in my body? I know before the show, you put your hand kind of on your solar plexus. How do I feel there? What's happening? Because that's your center. Where is your heart? Where is your gut? Where is your head? We have a multitude of sense organs. Use them all. We're locked in our head for the most part in our society. Get back in the body. Do you feel like you need to run? Do you feel like you need to climb walls? Do you feel like you need to sleep? How are you feeling? Your body is telling you. If you feel the hair standing up on the back of your neck and you're feeling threatened physically, there's some threatening energy around you, and it really would be beneficial if you would listen to it.
No, the reason I laugh is because I always talk with my wife, and my wife is not native to the United States. And I tell her, because of certain conditions that I live through, I am always on alert. And she was like, You can't live that way. I was like, you don't understand. That's key to my survival on this planet. And I come from Detroit. So it's just a part of the programming, environmental programming that has been ingrained in me to, and it goes back thousands and thousands of years. Some people don't have to have it, but those that do have it in a heightened sense where you're always coming into a room and saying, what's going on here? Who's a threat? Who's not a threat? Who's good to go? Because it's not always obvious to you just on sight. What other ways can people contact you? What avenues do you have? Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, website?
All of the above. My website. Can I give my website name?
You can give everything. You can give your phone number if you want.
Oh, I love people calling me. That, like I said, I'm a relationship person. Call me, text me. It's all good. My website is Pyramid Fusion. That's Pyramid Fusion, FUSION.com. Pyramid Fusion is also on Facebook. You can also find me individually on Facebook. My name's Laura, which is spelled a little different. It's Lora, which is just way too simple.
You didn't marry Don Cheadle, did you?
No, but I'm from Denver, so everybody says, "Oh my God, are you his sister?" It's like, no, I'm not.
That's a good one.
Yep, Pyramid Fusion on Twitter. I also have this really fun Facebook group called Flaunting Fitness. Okay. And it's just a support group where people can say, how does this work? What should I eat? They can share a recipe. They can share workout advice. You can support other people. I don't feel good today. What should I do? Or this is wonderful. Join that group. It's just an open support community. And yes, please, you can text me. I'm a big texter, 303-994-4945. I don't care. I'm into relationships and connections. Talk to me. I'll help you.
All right. A lot of people are very, we've been programmed to be very scared. We've been programmed that there's a demon around every corner, and particularly every day when you look at the news, there's something else to reinforce that heightened level of fright. Every single day when I turn on the news, there's something that can affect your emotional state negatively, but that's part of the propaganda plan. If we all live in love and if we all live in trust, all that will go away, is what, you try to tell people, but it's hard for people to understand because they're living in very much the cerebral versus their heart. I want to thank you so much. Do you have any parting words for the Billionaire Lifestyle podcast audience before we go? No. I'm sorry. Let's not get to that. I got ahead of myself. My bad. Stop it, Emmett. Stop it. All right.
Rewind.
You and I are about to do a exercise.
Okay.
You ready?
I am.
So you're going to have to close your eyes.
Okay.
Now, I want you to picture your 19 or 20-year-old self. And I want you to picture yourself as you are now. And yourself is sitting on the couch watching television. And then you hear ding dong. And you get up off the couch. You mosey to the door and you open the door. And there's a 19 or 20-year-old you standing there. And that 19 or 20-year-old self says, "What do you have for me? What can you tell me that I need to know?" What would you tell that person?
Don't be afraid of what people will say. Don't be afraid of what people will think. By you following your heart, even if it makes no sense in your head, you will be far more successful and happy, and you will touch way more lives than you can ever imagine by thinking and planning it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast. My guest today was Laura, Lora Cheadle. And if you need some inspiration, if you need some connection, or if you just need a little guidance, please seek her out. Or you might just want to figure out how to get your groove on. And I don't mean that in a dirty way. I mean that in just a rhythmic way. You can always contact her, and she is there to help. She's even giving you her phone number, so you know she's got big thumbs to text you right back. So thank you so much. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please remember, when you look in the mirror after you get out the shower, or if you just glance by it, I want you to take a second and stop and look. I want you to look at those eyes, look at the hair, look at the shape of your head. Look at the wrinkles, look at the spots. Those things are so precious because they are that thing that make you that 1 in a billion and a sea of trillions. So you are a billionaire. Stop thinking that you have to attain something because you already have it. You are loved. There's someone out there who loves you. You may not know it because they're afraid to tell you. But if you open your heart and love yourself, the love will come your way. Till next time, this has been the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast with Laura Cheadle. We're out. Peace.